photo. No.
Hi.
Okay.
Hey guys, how's your day going? Benjamin Kallenberg, consciousazine.net. Look, I want to talk about how the organic portals exclude us all the time. Have you noticed that they exclude us all the time? I made a video the other day called Organic Portals Double Standards. That fits together because, say you're at like a party, not that I do that anymore, but say you're, at a party or something, you'll feel this energy a lot. You can get excluded by, certain roboticized, portalized groups as well. Anyway, I wanted to say that, they ostracize us because they're ostracized. They're excluded. They're empty shells, it's said, so they're excluded from whatever this stuff is that's inside of us, the souled humans. Whatever this stuff is, if it's, some magic sparky light stuff or what, is it some kind of crystalline differentiation, is it, silica versus another base of life form, carbon, or, what is going on exactly, I'm not 100% sure. I've had my memory wiped like you all, and, here we are. But, have you noticed they exclude you a lot? Now, that's because they are excluded. They want you to feel their pain, basically. Unconsciously, because they don't really feel. They are sense-stored electrical waves, but they don't have their own feeling, their own, their own ideas on things. Or, I can say to myself, I feel this way about this, so I'm going to take this will or spirited action. But they don't seem to do that, they'll stop at that will force action part for sure. Where you should go, okay, I'm going to take this action, then they stop because they don't have that self-spirit will force. Spirited nature, your spirit, that you want to do something, your, what's it called? I was looking for another word, but your conviction. There was another better word I had, but anyway. They ostracize us. They're the ones, very disconnected. I always say that the surface virus is like a cross current to the actual forward flow of consciousness that creates the universe. So they are like a cross current or an eddy, but a cross current is a way better way to see this because it gives the blocking nature. It's funny, I made that video, I don't know, months ago called Organic Portal Blockers. I was just talking how they block you, and I even analogized to like mucus, how mucus can block up your body. And if you block up your lymph system, that's it for the rest of your body. The rest of your body, can't expel its waste, so you become the waste. You fill up with all the waste because it can't get out like it used to, because you've got a blocked lymph system. And this is very similar to what I reckon the organic portals are like to humanity, like blocking, It's funny, they always hold double standards with me, like here for instance at the camping, they even got women now like doing, man jobs, like digging and stuff. And the only reason that is, I know, is because I have me and the managers here, their spirits know my spirit and vice versa, and I know the demons that are coming through them for a long, long time, and so I'm completely ostracized. I'm never going to be, asked to, join in fully in the right way. And if it is, it'd be by the organic portal person, and then later the demon will come in and it like lures you in like a friendly NPC, but then it lures you in to really fuck you over, and that's when the demon comes in and it'll get you somehow later. So you can't even trust them, you know what I mean, at all. You shouldn't be trusting anyone, but yeah. So here's some synonyms: exclude, shun, spurn, cold shoulder, give someone the cold shoulder, reject, repudiate, boycott, blackball, blacklist, cast off, cast out, shut out, avoid, ignore, snub, cut, dead. Well, that's interesting. Keep at arm's length, leave out in the cold. They'll literally do this to you. Bar, ban, debar, banish, exile, expel. So that's interesting. I didn't read this before, but cut, dead. Again, they're like projecting their unconscious or subconscious pain, that they are ostracized, and they want you to feel that confusion. They want you to become compromised. They are using this compromised surface virus, the foreign installation mind, as some people have called it. I call it, like a surface virus. It's another way to see this compromised mind thing that is being used. It's like a facet of our psyche. It may be dimensionally correlative. There's things still to think about, but one thing we know is that it's compromised, and it compromises everything. And that's why they want to compromise you, because it is a compromised thing. Mind. The compromised mind. It's relative to your ego, identity. This is also a shutting off, ostracized from the universe, the ego. Well, that's the viewpoint of the ego, that it's separate, and it continues to want to separate. So, hence, it is ostracized itself. And I think, it's more than the self-identity in the frontal lobe of the human brain. I don't think it's just that shallow. I think it's a deeper idea, like I'm just telling you, that the ego is part of this surface virus, compromised mind thing, not just some neurons in the front of your head. Yeah, so it's interesting, cut dead, because that's what they want to do to us. I've said before, they want to move us out of the electromagnetic spectrum completely. That's what the big entity behind it all wants. I don't know whether that's Lucifer, Yahweh virus, or something else, but it's very high level like that. I visualize it like the Doctor Strange movie, how he sees Dormammu, or whatever that big entity is at the end, and it's like a floating head face, of different coloured light, which reminded me of the seventh dimensional rays, by the way. And he battles, Doctor Strange battles Dormammu at the end of Doctor Strange 1 movie. And that entity there reminds me of what I mean by when I tell you guys they're trying to move us out of the electromagnetic spectrum completely, wherein they become life. So they're trying, it's completely contradictory. They're basically, you could say they're death, or they're dead people, or they're zombie people. We sleepwalkers, and life force comes from consciousness, and you can correlate all those ways. So they're it's dead trying to take over life, and that's never going to be possible. It's only ever going to be an adversarial honing device or function. Yeah, so they always, they're trying to cut us dead. They're trying to keep us out and exclude and shun and ostracize us. But I think that's one thing we need to recognize to, have any headway in this battle or war. It's just something I think we really need to be aware of, that, don't kid yourself. You're not going to integrate into society and have a happy life. It's not going to happen anymore. The time on the clock is, past the eschaton. It's now the apocalypse for another 70 years. So all we're going to see now is a massive downhill slide into nanny state, socialized, I don't know what even to call what we're going to get first, but it's going to be part of the blood of the birthing of new humanity. Right now, we're in the birth canal. There's blood everywhere. You know, when we go to space, then the baby is born. Really, we're like, you know, baby humans still connected to the planet. It's like we're still inside the womb of the atmosphere of the planet. You know, when we go to space, it'll be like, at least we've been born, we're a baby, you know, I don't want to say separated, but, you know, there's a type of separation there, although you're a representation, not a representative, a representation of Earth, you know, going into the void of infinity. Or, you know, to the stars, which look pretty infinite from our little monkey brain, eh? So, I just wanted to put the main thing there, that they're ostracizing us because they are inherently ostracized. Don't forget that. Just in case you're ever wondering, why are they doing this? They're just psycho. No, there are real, yes, but there are, you know, reasons for everything. I don't think anything happens for no reason. I think everything has reason and meaning. And I don't know, it always brings me a great joy to find out the reason for something. Is that the same with you guys? Like, I don't know, comment and let me know, whatever. But I get a real joy out of finding the answer. And it's like the thrill that kills. But, you know, there's always a new thrill, a new answer to seek. But it's not only a thrill that kills the joy of seeking, it's like another joy. You get there and you're just happy to get there, and oh, there's the answer, you know. So that's why I like to discuss these organic portal beings, infrastructure of the matrix. And to me, it's not that, even if this place is a solid state matrix, it's not like a bad guy. You know, we shouldn't be pointing to the universe going, oh, it's all bad. I'm not so sure that this is correct to say that we're in Lucifer's universe. Perhaps. I'm still thinking about it, you know, because, I mean, I understand that Luciferian light has come to me as like some kind of heavier light, so it would correlate with, you know, double valence electron shell atoms, or moving motional electrical light, dense heavy crude electrical light of this universe, rather than what I see in my visions, which appears to be much more higher, subtle, lighter, quote unquote light, you know. Anyway, I'm just not ready to conclude that, you know, this is hell, or this is Lucifer's universe, you know, and stuff like this. I recognize the great falling away and all this stuff, but I'm still in personal configuration as how to express all this. Give me a comment under the video. Tell me why you think that it's Lucifer's universe that we're in now, or something. If you're one of these people who think like that, tell me what you think. Don't be afraid. I'm not going to go too hard on you and say, well, that's dumb, or, you know, embarrass you or anything. I just want to hear what you have to say about that, because it's an interesting idea, and I'm always just out for the next, you know. Add it in, add the knowledge in. We're trying to complete a picture. This is, you know, the game we're playing is of dark and light, and the return of the light, this universe. So always you find another piece of the puzzle, that's another light code, or another, you know, piece of a puzzle, as in a code to the larger picture, or a code to the larger program. So yeah, it could be that we are in a complete matrix, you know, where it's fully covered over our eyes, like the actual movie, The Matrix. You know, that could be the case. But I like to talk about this in a way that, I don't know, seems more relevant to you, not just becoming apathetic and giving up because, hey, I don't really exist, I'm just a hologram, you know what I mean? I like to talk about this in a way that we, you know, can continue, or we have, you know, continual, you know, life. And the way I discuss this as like it's a surface virus. I think that's what's needing to be addressed. That it's some sort of surface virus is the problem. You know, you might think you're part of the group at some point or something, but then there always comes the realization when you realize that you're being ostracized and excluded. You know, so I got to tell all the young people. I guess this is a reason for making this video, right? I've got to tell you young people, the young guys out there, you know, we're going into increasing this stuff. What do I mean? Well, all this stuff about organic portals is increasing because we've got the feminized energy, you know, and it's like a taking care of others type of energy. The man, you know, usually is very concerned with just getting it right to begin with for himself, you know, and then, okay, now I'm strong, I know the way, so now I can, you know, help the women and the children. But what I'm telling you is, you know, this is going to get worse for this apocalypse, because the way they see it is more control is needed as things are getting out of control. So they don't realize that this is that type of thing where destruction is required for the new creation. And so they, you know, they are being destroyed, and so they obviously they don't want to be destroyed, so their control grip is going to be worse and worse, and that's feminized type thinking and doing, the control grip. So what's interesting is I don't see it getting better before it gets worse. You know, first you're going to have the next 50 years, the next 30 years, I don't know how long exactly, but it's going to get, you know, more controlled over your life. You know, you thought that it was going to end with, I don't know, the US government not tapping your phone calls, and you thought, oh, okay, we'll fight this and then it'll stop there. Well, that didn't work, and the slippery hill has continued to slide. You know, we're still sliding down the slippery hill of what some people call that socialism and stuff like this, but, you know, we're still, whatever you call it all, just, you know, keep your head in the center of what I'm saying. It's all about control. Don't forget, you know, the archons and all this stuff. These archon spirits, you know, they're all about control, and it's like their main thing. Like when a reptile, fourth dimensional reptilian, is jumping around your room, I swear it's much more about, you know, annoying you, showing you it can emotionally change the state of your friend, so when he wakes up he's not going to be your friend anymore so much. Or, you know, they like a bit of mayhem and stuff, these reptilians. But then the archons, they really like control, right? So they're still in control, and hence control itself will pick up in society. And, you know, we are not landed in nature properly yet. That will happen at the end of the apocalypse in 2089. Turn of the century will finally, I think, you know, get away from the fossil fuel stuff more and into renewable energies a lot more. And that's maybe how you will see it. And, you know, biomimicry and all this. You know, it'll really rear its head at the end of the apocalypse when we realize, you know, because it'll be generally realized, okay, nature's been here for like ever. You know, the nature's been doing this for 4 billion years. We've only been doing it for 40 years. You know, like pharmaceutical drug creation, for instance. So the point is that we will realize in the end, you know, we have to work with nature, is the conclusion. But until then, you know, everybody like me who is of nature and who is natural, like a natural human, not a synthetic sort of human, will be ostracized. and will be ignored, snubbed, cut dead. And people do this to me all the time. Like, the profound things I'm saying mean nothing. Like, sometimes I say some really profound things, and people act like it's nothing. You know, that's their type of mind. It's empty. Remember, we call organic portals empty shells. And you can see this reverberated in their, what? In their empty lawns. Should be food there. But they have this lawn. And they mow the lawn back and forth, like a fucking robot. You know, instead of the food trees, which would sit there and grow themselves, and it'd be much more complex to look after them, which would require some intelligence, wouldn't it? You know, or I've got to figure out how long this plant's going to grow and the soil for that plant and blah blah blah. It's a much more complex thing to do permaculture than grow a lawn. So, you know, all these people with lawns, and that's why it's, you know, everywhere in society, besides the psychopathic origination of lawns, where in India, you know, they would get 1,000 women out there with scissors to cut the massive lawn, if you research it. So besides the psychopathy of where lawn has come from, of grass, which again shows how they're psychopathic, and they, you know, they want to feel above others all the time. Again, because it's missing in them. That's a type of ostracization too, because it's again missing in them. It's a projection. So, you know, besides the psychopathic part of growing the lawn, and, you know, they even get people these days to do their lawn for them, of their own house. It's like they don't even exist. It's like, you know, all they are is a corporate stooge for the Matrix, and that's it. Come home and you get to poo and eat. Well, that's pretty awesome. I know, and they don't even have time to enjoy their own life, because there is no real own life there. They've given all their power away. They've given their life force away. You know, go to work for somebody else. And this is, yeah, I know it's hard not to. You know, to work for yourself these days is increasingly difficult because we have so much monopolization in every industry. And that's how you know we're at the end or the upper echelons of the money system too, by the way, or the current systematics. So not only is the lawn a reverberation of psychopathy, but a reverberation and mirror image of how their mind is blank. You know, the empty lawn, I made a quote years ago, something like, the empty lawn reflects their empty minds. And it's the same with the ostracization, it's just a reflection projection. But yeah, an important self-standing video point, I thought. You know, they're ostracizing us, they're excluding us, they're trying to take over completely. And it's a surface virus under control of higher, I don't know, negative forces. I'll summarize it as. I don't want to say, oh, it's Lucifer or this or that. I don't want to point the finger too much, and I just want to keep it general. We'll talk about demons in another video, and I've already made a video on how to heal, or some type of healing for the 72 Hermetic, Geoetic, 72 Demons of Solomon type of demons, very low level ones. So look out for that video in a couple of days. I'll probably post that. Might even come up before this video, I'm not sure. So, you know, get rid of the idea of joining in and, you know, having that fairy tale sort of life you know we've all grown up with, of, you know, the getting married type of life, where you know, it's like that's your big moment. It all, you know, for a woman at least anyway, but not for a man, I don't think. But you know, that type of fairy tale life where everything's easy, good, and it's a kind of picture of the last 11,000 years where we've been in a cycle where not much has happened. You know, environmentally, we haven't had a pole shift. We haven't had, you know, a cataclysmic asteroid, etc. We've been in like a calm period, and you know that seems to be very reverberated through society, and that fairy tale life that I'm talking of, and I call it a fairy tale life because it's really fake, fictional. That's what I'm trying to say. Get away from that idea completely. Get that out of your mind. It's not going to happen for you. For a soul human, try it. Don't think I'm being negative, because I'm not, and go out there and try it. And then you'll see I'm not being negative. I'm being real. It's not going to happen. You're not going to fit in with them as much as you try. And then one day you realize, why am I even trying? But then you find out about all this information of, you know, they're soulless, psychopathic, blah blah blah. They don't have their own will force, spirit, nature. They do what other people tell them, you know. You're never going to fit in like that because it goes against something so deep inside you to, you know, take orders like that and, you know, become, you know, a second or I don't know, I was going to say a bitch, but a stooge for someone else, you know, to concede to another in the most horrible of ways, like you're not capable. And here's my point in all that sentence. You are capable, and you're a soul human. You're complex. You can overcome anything, any hurdle that this universe puts in front of you, you can overcome. And that is the point of a soul human. Now, an organic portal can't. Not even in their group can they do it. Because of the missing complexity. I had another video created months ago called Organic Portals, Why We Mad at You. Organic Portals, Why We Mad at You. No. Yeah, Why We Mad... No. The video was called Organic Portals, Why They Do What They Do. And I said, because they're in second place. Because really, how it's meant to be is, you know, the soul human, the complex concrescence, is, you know, the top of the pyramid, so to speak, and the capstone of the pyramid had a special function. It was the alchemical gold function, you know, and energetic functions and all this. And all the other stones beneath the capstone are like the organic portals. You know, the capstone's like the soul human complexity, concrescence. You're a level of complexity above all the other stones in the pyramid, which are just load-bearing stones or some other function that is not like some crazy metaphysical function like, you know, the gold capstone had. And, you know, so basically they realize they're in second place somehow inherently, subconsciously, and that's, you know, one of the reasons they do what they do, in my opinion. It's again another projection, reflection of their inside, so to speak, of what's not there. So, you know, they will ostracize you, and, you know, there's no way around this, except for to, you know, play dumb, play dead. You can also use keywords, but that's just a, you know, a key. You know, you might not have the right key for the right door in the right conversation at the right time, etc. You know, there's nuances like keywords, but generally you're just going to continually be shut out and cast out. So I don't know, I just wanted to say, if you haven't noticed this, that this is something to do with organic portals, and you might not have recognized this in your life, and you might be one of those people there wondering, what is going on? Is there something wrong with me? No, it's that they want to ostracize you. And they want to make you feel guilty and compromised and like there's a lot of stuff wrong with you, so that you concede to the system and, you start suckling at the teat of the system and giving away all your power and your soul and hence your will force. You give over your will. That's why they're doing this. It's part of a collective compromised system where they want to compromise you. So it's not just you have problems and blah, blah, blah. consciousazine.com Chronicles.